Gabby Deaton is running out of space on the shelves that barely seem able to support the weight of it all.
This one here was the first photograph I ever took.
There is the father who loved Christmas the most, the mother who was a nurse for nearly 30 years, the sister with a hug that would make you feel safe, the brother who had mastered skateboarding.
You know, it's not just in certain neighborhoods.
Everyone remembered at Deaton's exhibit has died of a drug overdose.
I think for some it is a form of healing to honor that person.
Deaton began the Black Balloon Project in 2019, photographing the friends and family in Kentucky and Ohio left to hold their loved one's photo or ashes.
I only have one spot left.
Deaton takes the photos for free. She gets to know the families and their pain.
For others, I think that it is a way to advocate and use their pain for strength.
The 2-hour drive to Covington wasn't enough time for Tammy Boblet to prepare for all the grief on display.
He had been up here in recovery, and he had 15 months sobriety.
Her 30-year-old son, Chase, has been gone 9 months.
But he died of a fentanyl overdose.
She hopes taking part in the project may help raise awareness to the epidemic that shows no signs of slowing.
I mean, even if Chase's picture wasn't up here, just to see all of this, and I know how they feel.
And while most here have never met, they share the same heartache. Deaton's gallery is as much about saving lives as honoring them. Families took home close to 80 units of Narcan. It's the same overdose reversing drug that saved Deaton's life twice.
The reason that I do this is because I am here and they're over there. And I did not deserve this life any more than anybody featured in any of those photographs.
Deaton is 11 years sober. She knows she'll meet more grieving families when she begins next year's project in the fall. And while she's grateful she can tell their stories, she wishes she didn't have to.
All of the people in these photos, they matter. I want to be the voice for people who didn't get the same opportunity as me.
No matter where you've been in your life, near or far, anyone on the road to recovery has a well-traveled heart.
Oh, every day. I've sat and wondered when the day will come when I don't think about it, honestly, and I don't know when. I think it'll be years down the road, and you'll still think about this probably every day.
It's been 180 days since Mayfield was hit.
It skated over me enough, it ripped my roof completely off.
Since Larry Nichols was hit by an EF4 tornado, Nichols is one of the few families left in this neighborhood on Mayfield's northeast side.
In the whole neighborhood, there's only maybe, block radius or 2 block radius, maybe 4 people at the most. So.
Nichols says his next-door neighbor left after the storm and never came back.
I think everything the lady owns is still in her house, too, I'm pretty sure.
And 6 months later, you can see the neighbor's clothes on hangers and family photos still stuck to the fridge. Not 20 yards behind Nichols' back door, 3-year-old Jalil Dunbar was killed when his entire home collapsed around him. Dunbar was one of 24 Kentuckians who died in Graves County from the storm.
It just kills me knowing that a lady was laying over there, probably holding her dead kid. That's tough to swallow.
In Mayfield, in this moment, you can see homes being built. Next to empty lots where homes used to stand. Next to houses too badly damaged to be saved, yet abandoned up until this point. It's an unnatural scene created by Kentucky's deadliest natural disaster.
180 days later, Dawson Springs residents share many of the same views.
It's been a journey. It's hard to look around and hardly see anything. you know.
Volunteers from Georgia are rebuilding Judy Gregg's roof, except Gregg and her husband only recently purchased this home.
Back porch, and this would have been in front of our house.
On the night of December 10th, Gregg and her family huddled in the bathroom of their longtime home, just a few blocks away. They would be stuck there for hours. 6 months later, Gregg is one of the few in her neighborhood still here.
Some are rebuilding, some can't afford to. It was depressing for a while, you know, because you don't see nothing.
The scars left behind are on the surface and below it, and because of both, Larry Nichols' heart weighs heavy.
You know, still day to day, you know, struggle with it still. My kids, when a thunderstorm rolls through, you know what I mean, they get tense. My 10-year-old definitely, he's a nervous wreck when a storm blows in or anything like that, so.
Undoubtedly, the last 180 days has taken the residents of Mayfield and Dawson Springs through every emotion. And of all the emotions he's felt,
My wife and 2 kids, we was fine, lived through it.
as long as he keeps arriving at Grateful, Larry Nichols says he'll be okay.
It's kind of mind-boggling to really think about it. Kind of feels like it's only been a few months, really. At times, you know, and at times it feels like it's been a long time, but.
The road to recovery is a journey, and how long the journey lasts is unknown. It's different for everyone. The destination for all, however, is a well-traveled heart. Would you believe me if I told you this was a time machine?
Just gives me shivers to think how it must have felt.
In a St. Matthew's basement.
This is another test record, and we can try that.
That'll have to do it close enough for jug band.
A dozen curious minds and musicians are about to go way back, traveling to the very beginning of recorded sound. But first,
Hello!
a test.
The Juggernaut Jug Band for the American Phonograph Society. Test 1! Let's see.
The man with the booming voice is Wyatt Marcus, one of the last mechanical phonograph technicians in the entire world. He's driven this Edison recorder 9 hours from his workshop in Rochester, New York.
So this machine will record and replicate sound, and this particular machine is from about 1905. When the diaphragm vibrates, it vibrates vertically, and it changes the cutting depth of that sapphire.
Marcus travels the country recording sound and music to wax cylinders.
He's louder here, and he was a little quieter there.
And just as it was done at the end of the 19th century.
A small piece of tick-tock history.
However, this will all be done with some 21st century flair, streaming live on TikTok.
Please share. This is only going to happen now.
In 1877, Thomas Edison invented the phonograph recorder. In 1965, Roscoe Goose Helm co-founded the Juggernaut Jug Band.
We've just been really excited about this. Just to, well, this whole experience about how to get this done, that's a first for all of us.
It just sort of all fell together, and here we are, from all over the country.
Boys, I think we're in the right direction.
Washboard Man by the Juggernaut Jug Band, Louisville, Kentucky, December 20th, 2022. 1, 2.
So over the course of a 4-hour session, and for perhaps the first time in history, the Juggernauts lay down a track on Edison wax. The result? Nothing less than the magic of time travel. In Louisville, Jonathon Gregg, Spectrum News.
You hear that?